Dressed man in wrestling right here. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. It ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt. Flair, bring that old cashmere coat out here. Gee, I love.
Can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long.
Man, welcome to Midday Sports with Rod and Lunch Crew. We got Fifth Down Sports in here himself. Mr. Dietz, how you doing today, man?
Doing all right, man. Another Monday, another long weekend of sports.
But you know what I mean? I made a thumbnail, man, but this is a factual thing, man. Greg Williams been coaching his ass off, man, in the XFL. Like, that team looked like the XFL version of the Saints, man. They're a great blitzing team. They're physical. I don't know have you been watching the DC Defenders this year, but they've been playing real physical.
Yeah, that's Greg Williams to a T. And I mean, we know why he's not coaching in the NFL. It has nothing to do with Greg Williams' ability to coach or ability to draw up a defense. The only reason he's not in the NFL is Bountygate. And that's it. That's the list.
Yeah, and we can arguably say, man, he's one of the best to ever do it, man. Him as a D coordinator, I think he's up there. I think he's up there. Maybe not like top 3, but you can put him easily in the top 10.
Yeah, he's easily a top 10 defensive coordinator.
Like I love what he's doing. I love what Wade Phillips is doing. You know, I mean, I always love Wade Phillips' defenses. Back to the Marcus Ware days, from all the way from them days, man. But the XFL has been looking really good for me. Only thing that's real weird to me is that kickoff, but I understand it.
Yeah, anything that changes is always going to look weird.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely makes things a little bit, if it makes things safer, well, why not? I mean, it's better than it was. It's better than the USFL's decision of just no kickoffs and just start at the 20-yard line. So
yeah, man, and that's exactly what I was about to say. It's crazy, man, because that's how people make their living. You know what I mean? Off of special teams. You know what I mean? It's not too many people that got the ability to be elite receivers or elite corners, and some of them just great special teams. Look at Matthew Slater. You know what I mean? He's just a great special teamer. You know what I mean?
I mean, eventually, what I would like to see is some different kinds of plays off the special teams, off the kickoff return, like pulling a guy, or you look at the guys that are on the kickoff teams, they're really just they're like normal special teams guys. Like, Why wouldn't you have, if the guys are going to start 5 yards away from you, why wouldn't you have offensive and defensive linemen in there? Why wouldn't you have big 300-pound guys paving the way for your kickoff returner? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Right?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make any sense, man, because that's how, that's how I played a little bit of varsity, playing high school football, special teams. Guy used to get tired. Hey, man, go get in. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of people got into the game, playing football by special teams on the covering team. And you know what I mean? That's how people got, playing time. This is part of football.
Absolutely. And I mean, we'll see how it is. That's the only problem with the XFL right now. Is yeah, the kickoff is what it is, but we haven't seen anybody break one yet.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know. We haven't seen enough of it to know why that is, but we just we'll see how it progresses. I don't think it's something the NFL will adopt unless they see it. But are we going to get enough of the XFL? That's the question. Because
I don't think so, DC. Let me tell you why.
The ratings have plummeted.
They have?
The ratings have plummeted for the XFL. Now, you have to take into account March Madness. You have to take into account, the last couple weeks you've had college basketball dominating with not just the NCAA tournament, but before that you had conference tournaments and all that stuff. So you have to take that into account, but a lot of people who are looking at the numbers and look at that kind of stuff, in all the reviews I've seen, they haven't even mentioned it. They just say, oh, the XFL, no one's paying attention anymore because the ratings are way down. And I'm like, yeah, it's March Madness, dude. Nobody's paying attention to the XFL for the next 3 weeks. So we'll see how it goes, how it picks up. We'll see if the XFL picks up. Because next weekend you got another full slate of college football. Probably the weekend after that will be the telling sign of, do people come back to the XFL when March Madness isn't there? That'll be the question. But we'll see. We'll find out.
Hey, Deeks, I got a question for you, man. I'll be online. I'll be watching YouTube. Why don't, other SEC coaches, Pac-12, Big Ten coaches, that coach football don't use social media? Why is Deion the only one to use social media, you think?
I mean, how many coaches are up on social media like that?
Maybe Lane Kiffin.
Most coaches, you got to look at the average age of most of the head coaches, especially in the SEC.
Lane got swag though. Lane Kiffin got swag.
Lane Kiffin would be a disaster on social media. And I say that look, you're not going to get a bigger Lane Kiffin fan than me, but Lane Kiffin is a troll in all senses of the word. He would be a disaster, and it would, the way people interpret social media, Lane Kiffin would get destroyed by the media, by the media at large. He would get destroyed. So that's one reason that coaches aren't doing. And another thing you have to look at is are they allowed? Are they allowed to do that? Are they allowed to use social media? In a way, is it influencing recruiting? Is it an influence on some stuff? So the NCAA is going to have to take a look at that and see,
because you look at it, how he posts, and like when he was at Jackson State, I need some D tackles. I ain't hard to find. Play a little music. Next thing you know, you see a bunch of these fucking kids. This is my metrical. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why the NCAA is going to have to take a look at that, because you're only allowed a certain number of visits. You're only allowed to visit with people in a certain time frame. So does that count social media interactions?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's something the NCAA is going to. They're going to have to address it, because you can't have you can't have it. It's an unfair advantage for a lot of these coaches, for a lot of these teams. It's and they're gonna have to find a way to regulate. It's impossible to figure that out, to regulate it or put it in. I mean, the NIL makes things so much messier than anything we have going on. I mean, they're so worried about that stuff. So I think the NCAA is not even looking at this, but social media is definitely something that they're going to have to address.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's major. Because, you know what I mean, just the voice of him, it's crazy when it comes to recruits. And
because I mean, what happens? What happens when a coach is talking to a high school kid on social media? It gets to the boosters, and all of a sudden you've got, you can go right through Facebook and just, hey, here's 20, 30 bucks, here's $500. Yeah. You can send money right through that, or hey, set up a Cash App. There's no record. There will be no record of that transaction.
So you know what I mean.
Social media opens the door to a lot of there's a lot of great things that come out, but there's a lot of nefarious things that could happen, that could come about. So the NCAA definitely needs to take a look at social media and then see what it is they want to keep, what it is they want to get rid of.
I have a question though for you, Deets, man.
Yeah.
Because this Pac-12 is about to be changed in 2024. USC, and UCLA is leaving, right?
USC and UCLA will be out of there.
So what reports have you been hearing that going to fill that void of those two teams?
What I'm hearing, and I haven't heard about anybody. I haven't heard anything confirmed, but I said it the minute USC left. This is the death of the WAC. It's the death of the Western Athletic Conference. Because the Pac-12 is going to raid, and they're going to raid the Mountain West. It's going to happen. I guarantee they're going to grab Boise State, Fresno State, and probably Colorado State. And if the Pac-12 wants to survive, now the Pac-12 has said, "No, we're good. We're good with going back to the Pac-10." I guarantee you that's not going to last.
So who's in the Pac-10?
No, the Pac-10. It would be everybody that's in the Pac-12 now, minus USC and UCLA.
Okay.
So what the Pac-12, what the commissioner has said is, yeah, we're going to stand firm. We're just going to play we're going to play with our 10 teams, and we'll be fine. I guarantee you that doesn't last. I guarantee you they might try that for 1 year, and when they see what happens with everybody else, I mean, look what happened with the Big 12. The Big 12 tried the same thing when Colorado and Nebraska left. The Big 12 said, yeah, we're fine with 10 teams. And then all of a sudden they started adding all the other teams because they were getting locked out because they didn't have a championship game. And in order to have a championship game, you have to have 12 teams in your conference.
So this plays a major part of a championship game if you don't have two teams, pretty much.
But I think what they're gonna do. I think what the Pac-12 is gonna do. Like I said, I think they're gonna raid. I think they're gonna raid the Mountain West, and it's gonna leave teams like Air Force out in the dust. It's gonna leave some of those Texas teams out in the dust. There's gonna be a lot of teams that are left holding the bag here when they end up rating that division, but it only makes sense. I mean, Fresno State is on the rise right now. Fresno State is, and it's right in California. So you replace Southern California with another California team. You replace UCLA with Boise State. You bring in Colorado State. You now have a rivalry game with Colorado and Colorado State. You bring in some of those other teams, Utah State. You bring them in, you have an instant rivalry with Utah and Utah State. They already have rivalry games scheduled together. So it only makes sense to bring teams that are already scheduled into that conference.
So I have a question though for you, man. What happened with Jim Leonhard getting the Wisconsin job? What happened with that? He did a great job to me for what he got, handed to, after they fired their head coach, Frost. So what do you think happened? With the Boots. The Boots didn't feel comfortable with them being head man? I
guarantee you somebody at Wisconsin, and I'm not talking about Wisconsin, I'm talking about boosters, and they said, no, we need a big name guy. We need somebody with a big name to come in here. And they went out and got Luke Fickell. I mean, you can't argue with them getting Luke Fickell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm as a Wisconsin guy, I thought Jim Leonhard would have that job. I thought they would just name him the head coach, being that he was a former player there, being that he was a defensive coordinator there for years on end. He was a coach under Barry Alvarez when Barry Alvarez was there. So it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't think Barry Alvarez would have said, no, we don't want him, because he brought him into his staff for a reason. I think the money people at Wisconsin said, no, we can't have a rookie head coach. We need a proven guy. And they went out and threw a lot of money at Luke Fickell, and Luke Fickell went from Cincinnati to Wisconsin.
Yeah, man, it is. But man, let's get them moving along. Let's talk some Lakers, man. How they let hillbilly Kobe get him like that, man? Man, his pump fakes are crazy though. His pump fakes are crazy.
I mean, look at what the Lakers have in front of them. I mean, the Timberwolves.
The Suns Wednesday.
They're dropping like a stone.
The Suns are Wednesday.
I'm talking about teams in the standings.
Oh yeah.
The Timberwolves, we know what's going on with them. They're injured. So what the Lakers have in front of them, they could easily get up to, I could see them getting up to a 7 or 8 seed by the time the play-in gets here. They could be looking at the 7 or the 8 seed.
Because the Warriors are struggling.
Exactly. The Warriors are struggling. The Timberwolves, like I said.
Ant-Man's out.
I know Oklahoma. I know everybody likes Oklahoma City, but I mean, Oklahoma City's a gamble as to whether they'll stay where they are. The team you really need to look at, if you're the Lakers, and the team you need to be worried about is the one behind them, which is the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, they've been playing good ball this year, man. They've been playing real good ball this year, man.
But you'll notice the Lakers are doing all of this with your guy on the sidelines.
Also, Anthony Davis not.
I mean, when LeBron doesn't suit up, the Lakers look like a competent. They look like a competent team. It's almost like, and I've said this a couple times. I've said this about Anthony Davis. His whole career playing with LeBron. It's like when LeBron is there, everybody just looks at LeBron and they just go, "All right, go ahead," and they just stand there and watch. When LeBron's not there, you see them. They're moving around. They're setting picks. They're doing all this stuff that they don't do when LeBron is there, and I don't understand why.
Suave here. Wise, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Oh man, we just talk a little Lakers, a little bit NBA. Then we about to talk a little bit NFL and some draft stuff. But your team's been looking good, also, man.
We just beat the Nuggets the other day.
Bronson, man, is worth all the penny.
The Knicks are hitting their stride at the right time.
You said what?
We got him for cheap.
You got him for cheap?
That contract he signed is already it's a good deal for us. Put it that way.
Yeah, he got a lot of them Villanova guards always got that dog in him.
But he's always been a winner everywhere he's at, man. So he's that floor leader that we needed. We've been needing that floor leader for years. So to have him actually come out and he showed last year in the playoffs when Luka was down what he was capable of, and he's just doing it now on a bigger stage in New York, and I can't be more happier.
And Barrett actually stepped up. You know what I mean? The game against the Lakers, that's the last game I watched, probably.
Well, with Barrett, he always seems to struggle in the first half of the season, and then second half of the season, the last couple of years, he's been picking it up. But our biggest addition was Josh Hart, man. Getting Josh Hart, he's really like you said, Villanova guards. He's got that dog in him, man. He's got that dog in him, man. He's what we needed. He's that player that he gets those rebounds, he's get those steals. He's that guy you put on that best offensive player that he'll play defense on them. And it's great to see them playing great basketball right now, but it's still early, man. It's playoff time is something different. And
I meant to welcome you to Gillette too. Welcome to Gillette.
I can see Gillette, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's definitely y'all definitely going in the right direction though with the youth. And, and that not getting in that KD debacle and Kyrie debacle definitely played well for y'all.
I was so hot. I was so excited when we didn't sign them. I didn't want them. To me, listen, they're both great basketball players, but just because you're a great basketball player doesn't mean you're gonna win. And they just all right, yeah, KD won in Golden State, but you had the leadership of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and you just added that firepower of Kevin Durant. He wanted to show that he could do it on his own,
and he can't.
And he can't. He needs. Kyrie's a great player, but Kyrie's not a leader. Kevin Durant's a great player, but he's not really that leader. He's not that man. He's not like Steph. He's not like I'm saying. He's not that dog where he's just going to lead his team. And hey, they're great players. I don't knock them, but I'm just glad they're not a part of my Knicks.
Yeah. So, what's your expectation for your Knicks this season?
I'll take a second round. I'll take a second round. I'm not being.
I think it depends on where the Knicks finish up. I mean,
I think we could beat Cleveland if we stay at the 4-5. We stay 4-5 with Cleveland. I think we could beat Cleveland. But when it comes, I don't. The only team that really scares me is Milwaukee, because we beat Boston 3 out of 4 times this year. Philly's good, but I still think we're deeper than them.
If you're the 4-5 seed, you'll get the Bucks in the second round.
Yeah, that's the only issue.
That's trouble.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't give Drew Holiday enough respect, man.
Oh, that team is deep, man.
Oh my God.
And now with Middleton getting back into form, Brooke Lopez playing at a great.
It was the other the white boy with the crazy J Ingles.
Yeah, getting Ingles from Utah was a big pickup for them. They got Bobby Portis Jr.
Poppy Eyes. That's what I call him, Poppy Eyes.
He's
he plays some good defense.
Yeah. They got us. They're a deep team. That's the thing. That's the team that scares me the most because they are a deep team as far as their bench and everything. I think they might be the deepest team in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be good, man. I'm excited to see where my team can go. I feel we could beat the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel we're deeper than them. I think our bench is better than theirs, and so we'll see.
You think Thibodeau is going to be the future guy there in New York?
As long as he keeps winning, I don't see why not.
Okay.
I don't say Tibbs is Tibbs has that reputation of riding his veterans, and this year he's shown that he's willing to go and let his young boys play.
And that's what's good.
Quigley's he's one of the top guys for Sixth Man of the Year.
He's from where I'm from. He's from Harford County, Maryland.
Emmanuel Quigley's listen, having Brunson to teach him and show him what it is to be a point guard has helped evolve his game. Because not only now is he lethal with the three, but he breaks it down and he takes it to the hole and he's not turning the ball over. And that's something that Jalen Brunson is really good at, is not turning the ball over. So Quigley's picking up a lot from Jalen Brunson. That's big. You can see in the time that Jalen Brunson went down, Quigley had some of his best games. And so to see him develop into what he's doing now, it's amazing. And then
what happened to Obi though? Why Obi don't get too much playing time?
Because you got Julius Randle ahead of him.
Yeah.
Saying, and Julius right now is playing at all-star level. He's doing what he's doing. I believe I would love to see Obi shine. Obi last year when Julius went down for the last week, for the last 4 games, Obi was averaging probably over 27 points a game. 2 of those games he broke his career high. One was 30-something. The next game he went for 44 or something like that. So they're exciting. If Obi could get some burn, and I feel he should give Obi more burn. That way he doesn't burn Julius out before the regular season or the end of the regular season. And Grimes is playing well. McBride is getting some burn. When having Mitchell Robinson back is big for us. He's that centerpiece that gets the rebounds, make sure nobody drives in the lane. And so when he went down and Jericho Sims stepped up, Harstein stepped up, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what this team could do.
What about let's move to NFL, man. Your Giants got way better at the tight end position. What do you thought about that trade right there?
If he stays healthy?
I think he's healthy now.
If he stays healthy, he's one of the top tight ends in the NFL. If he stays healthy. That's always a big key in the NFL. If they, like Saquon, prior to this year, he was hurt a lot. I'm saying this year he showed he could stay healthy. He had a great season. It all depends on if he can. If Waller can stay healthy, we pick up one of the best tight ends in football.
And you got him for cheap.
Third, we got him because there is Tony, basically, because that was the pick we got from the Chiefs for Tony.
Yeah. So, man, what other moves would you like to see them upgrade at position? What position you would like to see them upgrade at?
Well, we addressed a lot of the needs. We needed a linebacker. We got the kid from Indianapolis. We got the kid from the Colts, that tackling machine. But I'm hearing they're going to use him a little bit more on the blitzes also because, Wink loves to blitz. We got to definitely sign my man Big Dex to a big contract. He is one of the best defensive linemen in football. Hope our young boy Thibodeau has a great second year. Another player that missed a lot of games because of injury is Ojulari. If he can have a rebound year like he had the year before, it'll be great. That will definitely help our pass rush. I'm happy with picking up Paris Campbell from the Colts as well, and we re-signed Darius Slayton. We signed Sterling Shepard back. We got rid of that hideous contract in the Kenny Golladay deal that we had. It's looking up, man. Listen, we finally have people in place that know what they're doing. We don't have a special teams coach as a head coach anymore, and we don't have David Gettleman signing people that I don't need, signing Nate Solder, signing Kenny Golladay. He made a couple. The Daniel Jones pick was great. The Saquon Barkley pick was great, but when it came to free agency, he just struck out a lot.
Yeah, I heard, I heard it was false reports about Odell wanting 20 million a year. I heard it was false. He came, in the media and said that's not true. He doesn't want 20 million per year. Would you kick the tires again? Because he started with y'all.
I didn't want him. I didn't want him to go in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't want. He wanted to be here. But again, Gettleman was in charge. Gettleman made the moves that he did. It is what it is. But if he wants to come back, I would love to have him back, man. He's, when healthy, one of the top receivers in football.
I think that would be dangerous, though. If again, that big word, if he's healthy.
It's a lot of ifs.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be crazy. That definitely would be crazy with the stuff we already have.
What I want to know what Dietz is thinking about with Zeke, where Zeke is gonna land.
Well, the writing was on the wall. You knew the Cowboys weren't going to re-sign him. I actually think there might be a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, hey, if nobody offers you a contract, you come back and play for the league minimum, play for something. I know that's something that he said. I want to play in Dallas. Well, you're going to have to play for cheap. So, but I don't know. I don't know who else. I don't know anybody else who's going to be out there looking for a 27-year-old running back.
I hear reports. The Bills.
The Bills would be a perfect fit for him because the Bills don't have a running back anyway. But I don't really know anybody else who, why would you do that? Why would you go out and sign Ezekiel Elliott when you can draft, when the draft is about 10 or 12 deep in running backs that you can get? I'd rather have a 19, 20-year-old kid playing running back than I would a 27-year-old Ezekiel Elliott who's not a spring chicken anymore.
And that's why the running backs have lost their value, man. It's a position that it's a dime a dozen. It seems like you can draft, you can go out in the draft and pick up a player 4th, 5th round, and they can be a star in the league, and they could. It's a shame that the running backs get treated like that because they're one of the players that touch the ball the most, man. They get hit more, but that's why they're not appreciated because there's so much wear and tear on their body, man. That the average lifespan, is 4.5 years of a running back?
Yeah.
That's like, who would want to, like, there's not many running backs that see a second contract.
I mean, you look at a guy like Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor last year was, at this time last year, everybody was talking about how great Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is the best fantasy player. He's going to be all this. And look what happened to him this year. Injuries came, and now look what people are saying about Jonathan Taylor is, he's washed, he's done. 1 year, and they're saying he's done.
And that's why I feel like Tennessee's wasting Derrick Henry's career, man. You know what I mean? By the talent they put on the field, man.
But it's crazy because growing up, I seen running backs that played like. Of course, I seen the great Emmitt Smith. I seen Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Saying Terrell Davis, his career was cut short because of his concussions and all that.
Yeah.
And seen Eddie George play. I've seen some great running backs play. So to see how the game has evolved and kind of running, it's just not the same like back in the days. Running backs nowadays are just not appreciated.
Just like the fullback, man.
That's a lost art. Being a fullback is a lost art, man.
God. That's why, you know what I mean? You know, I don't like the 49ers, but I can respect Kyle, you know what I mean, Juszczyk, things he does, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He got really soft hands for a fullback. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, he can run routes, he can run the ball, but I don't, you know what I mean? But it's a dying art. I remember when the Patriots used to run a lot of fullback, you know what I mean, from Heath, going on and on, you know what I mean? So it's a dying art, man.
Definitely.
But it's not just the death of the death of the running back. You look at offensive lines today. Offensive lines are not built to run the football.
Oh no.
And you look at all that. Look, why would you want to bang in there with the way defensive lines are so active today? You know, banging 3.5 yard plays back in the days of Emmitt Smith. You got 3.5 yards. That was considered good. Now you got guys that are, you know, doing their analytics. The analytics show you that, yeah, running the football, it's good in short yardage, but it's not a good play on first down to run the football. And I don't prescribe that. I'm always yelling at the TV to run the goddamn football, but the analytics say no. It's better to try a pass. And hey, if we miss the pass, who cares? Because we could hit a pass for 15 rather than get a 3-yard run. So that's why there's been death of the running back is really death of the interior offensive line.
And it's sometimes these analytics sometimes they overblow it, man. Like, and you can see that in all sports. Like all these sports are going to analytics, and
yeah, it's the same thing in baseball.
It's killing sports, man. It's really
killing where they've said, "Oh, sacrifice bunts." That it's not worth it to sacrifice bunt. Why? Get a run.
And I grew up, and
getting runs is important.
It is because I remember my Yankee teams from the 90s, they manufactured runs. They didn't rely on the home runs that teams rely on now. That's why when being a Yankee fan, even though I was a Yankee fan, but I lived in Tampa, I loved watching the Rays play because Joe Madden had them playing baseball. He had the manufacturing runs. They would hit a home run. They had power hitters, but they manufactured runs. They played baseball how I grew up watching it, and that's why I love teams that can go out and manufacture runs, not rely solely on hitting home runs.
Yeah, and I've talked to baseball people. I've talked to people that have followed the game, and they say every time they talk to somebody, it's no. The analytics say let guys swing away, and it's weird because it defies logic, but somehow the analytics say yeah, swing. Giving a guy a chance to swing is more important, but that's why you're seeing guys batting below below the Mendoza line.
Yeah, I said that
You
the
know?
other day.
Guys used to give up their bats. Guys that knew, hey, I'm not gonna hit the home run, or I'm not gonna hit the ball. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sacrifice bunt, and it doesn't count as an at bat. So they were getting away with that. They're not getting away with that anymore.
Hey, Wise, I have a question for you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I remember watching that dumbass movie, Baseball. And they talked about Mr. October. How good was Mr. October, Wise?
Reggie Jackson?
Yeah, how good was he? You know, I'm a younger cat. How good was he?
He's one of the best power hitters of all time, man. He played. Listen.
Probably the most violent swing in the history of baseball.
That's one thing. Yeah, he swung with all his might when he swung that bat. But Reggie was that dude, man. Like, and Reggie was. If you looked at Reggie, he was solid. He was like just built like a truck. But this is prior to all this weightlifting, because back in the days they didn't weightlift in baseball.
What?
No, they didn't, because it was taboo in baseball, because they thought weightlifting made you too big and made you too stiff. So not a lot of people. But then when you see the Bash brothers come in, you see Canseco, McGuire, and you seeing them put up 40, 50 home runs, winning MVPs. They had to change. People, they're like, oh shit, you can work out, you can do lift weights, you can bulk up.
You know, I had that question for you, man.
That's the one thing I love about baseball. You know, older people, they watch baseball. Everybody says, "Oh, we don't like bat flips." I'm like, go watch Reggie Jackson. He used to bat flip all the time just because he swung it so hard that he hit it. He knew it was gone, and the bat would just fly out of his hand like that. But everybody, all these people, oh, they never did this kind of stuff back. I'm like, yeah, they did. You just didn't.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense. You had players that showed their flair for the game, man. That show their love for the game, and I don't see nothing wrong with bat flips, man.
I love bat flips.
I love a good bat flip, especially when a dude hits it and it's a meaningful home run. Like, say they're down and he hits it. Oh, let's just be honest. Baseball is the hardest sport to play. It is. You fail 7 out of 10 times in baseball. 7 out of 10 times you're a failure, and sometimes even more the way it is. The way
and that's considered great.
Yeah,
like that. The greats in the game
failed 7 out of 10 times.
7 times out of 10.
Yeah. And I seen it. I saw Dion when he was getting interviewed. I think it was Shannon Sharp, and Shannon asked him what was harder, football or baseball. He said baseball, and because he couldn't master it. And Dion was a pretty good baseball player. He stole bases. He hit for power. Played great outfield. So for him,
we talk about analytics. They've taken stolen bases completely out of the game. Like I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody steal a base.
Well, I can, because we had some guys that steal bases on our team. So,
but I mean, how many times did you see? Like, you used to see 40 guys. Like,
oh yeah, that's not gonna happen no more.
Yeah, you don't see that. Like, maybe I'm gonna look it up when I get off of here. But like, who was the leader in stolen bases, and how many was it this year? I would say it's under 30. I would say it's under 30.
I think it's over 30. I would think it's over 30.
I would guess 35. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I think it was probably a little bit more than that. I would probably say close to 40. I'll find out for you right now.
Stolen bases. 22. Let's see.
41.
Dang, that's pretty good.
41. And what's the next guy at? 35.
35. And after that, it's 34 and 32. Yeah.
And Rod, you look at who's doing those kinds of things. The Baltimore Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 out of the top 3 stolen base guys. Nobody else. I mean, it's an art. It's an art that has been pretty much taken out of the game.
Well, you got look at this.
But there was a lot of injuries, though, right? You know what I mean? Sliding to the bases, trying to steal. People blowing their ACLs out.
Someone who, but besides Ricky Henderson and Lou Brock, Billy Hamilton is one of the best at stealing bases all time. He's number 3 all time, and he's got 914 of them.
God damn!
But listen to this though, he's done it in. Like Lou Brock had 938 stolen bases in his career, and he played 2,600 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Billy Hamilton in 1,500 games has stolen 914 bases.
Damn.
So he was one of the best to do it, and
the problem with Billy Hamilton is he couldn't get on base.
He couldn't hit for jack.
Get on base. You have to get on base, but when you're that kind of guy, I mean, Dave, you just be Dave Roberts and be a pinch runner.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there's definitely it's definitely a lost art, man. Like some of these names, like if you look at the list, the only dude that I've seen play recently is Billy Hamilton. Of course, everybody else on the list is been retired and stuff. But it's a lost art. It's definitely a lost art. It's something that teams don't really use to their advantage.
Yeah. But these, we was talking about the draft. You know what I mean? You was talking about it's kind of useless to see a lineman run and stuff. And you know, it had me think about, you know, the Orlando Brown Jr.'s draft. You know what I mean? Performance. And look what he did. He became a 4-time Pro Bowler. It's a pretty solid tackle. You know what I mean? So you're right on, man. Certain positions doesn't correlate good.
Yeah. Like they showed the 40-yard dash for offensive linemen. If you're an offensive lineman and you're running 40 yards, there's a problem. Something bad happened if you're an offensive lineman and have to run 40 yards. All you have to do is run 5 yards at a clip to be a good offensive lineman. There's no reason to run the 40. I would tell all my offensive linemen, don't even run the 40. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
So what players you have on your board right now are some good locks, could be, you know what I mean, contributors off the jump.
Off the jump. I'm still looking at a lot of these mock drafts. You're not seeing a lot of the linemen go, but I'm telling you, the kid from Michigan is going to be a great center.
I like to see the Bears definitely need a center. The Bears definitely need a lot of line play.
The Bears need everybody. Everybody and anybody who can block somebody, they need to make sure they get them. But he's a guy. I think he'll be a lock. But you're seeing a lot of the offensive tackles being taken. Oh, we have to spend the pick on an offensive tackle. Why? Why draft a tackle when you can get an all-pro center or guard? I think guard is where you're going to get a lot of the positions. I like the kid from Florida, Torrance.
Mm-hmm.
I like him as an inside guy. He can play inside guard and he can play right tackle. I think that's important for a young guy, that you could play multiple positions on the line to open your career.
Yeah, I think it's this year's offensive line is pretty deep, just like receiver for this year. So I think especially it's a lot of teams that need that play. But how do you think about? I've been seeing Will Levis going to Raiders. What do you think about that, Deeds? I don't think Will Levis is a really good quarterback.
Look, I love Will Levis. I've said this all the time. I've watched him play his whole life. Kid grew up a town away from me. I've seen him play his whole life. He's not a top 10 pick. He's just not. He's just not. And I don't know where all this is. I don't know where all this came from. All of a sudden, it came out of nowhere that people started looking at him. And I mean, you want to really break down his tape? Go watch the Tennessee game from last year.
I saw that tape against.
That tape is awful.
Ole Miss.
Will Levis has some great games, but he has some really bad stinkers in there, and that should scare everybody. That should scare you. About when a guy has that many bad games, when he has that many good games and that many bad games, you shouldn't be looking at their best plays. You should be looking at what made the bad games happen. And that's the thing about Will Levis is I don't think he has he doesn't have exceptional arm strength, and he's not exceptionally accurate. So he doesn't do anything to the exceptional level. And that's why, people talk about the Raiders. I mean, he would fit with the Raiders because they have Jimmy G. So you don't really have to worry about Will. Like, if you're the Raiders and you just brought in Jimmy G, why would you be drafting a backup quarterback at number 9? It doesn't make any sense.
No, that definitely doesn't make any sense. But they got him in the mock draft. The Raiders picking him up. But you know what I mean? It's a lot of things the Raiders is doing, which I really don't understand. Jacoby Myers, we said it earlier, man. Jacoby Myers is not worth $33 million.
No, he's not.
Like, I disrespected Christian Kirk, but Christian Kirk put it out on the field. He's crazy after the catch. He was killing it with the Jacksonville. I can see the money making sense, but Jacoby Myers, once he gets the ball, maybe another 2 to 3 yards, he's not really giving you no crazy yak.
I mean, maybe this brings up conspiracy theories here. I mean, the Raiders signed Jacoby Myers. Maybe that was like, hey, thanks for that win. thanks for giving us a win last year. We'll take it.
That throw has got to be that must got to be the dumbest pitch I ever seen in my life, man. Like, who are you throwing to? Mac Jones with the knee brace on? Like where do you think his ass is going? But like, that shit had to be the dumbest pitch of all time. But
it was by far one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen.
But I am excited about my team getting more depth at the tackle position because Trent Brown, I was talking about this all year. he was getting beat bad. It was like Bitch Green versus Mike at Dapper Dan. How bad he was getting beat. You know what I mean? It was that bad.
That was just one punch.
like
that Miss Green punch was just one punch.
But you know what I mean? It'd be sometimes he that one bull rush been down for him. He had to hold somebody. Like, I don't think he was really worth the money either. So I'm glad we getting that at that tackle position. Which
well, you look at what the Patriots did, and you look at what they're doing this offseason, bringing in Bill O'Brien. They're going to get back to playing old school style Patriots football, because I was actually thinking about this when I was looking at all the guys they've brought in. Last year, how many screen passes did they run? Not many. That used to be a staple of the Patriots offense.
Mm-hmm.
And you rarely saw them run screen passes last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't have athletic. They had guys like Trent Brown who can't move,
and they had two guys that really don't know offense. you had Matt Patricia, who's a defensive coach, and you had Joe Judge.
I heard he's going to the Broncos. I heard he's going to Broncos.
You had Joe Judge, who's a special teams guy. None of them were an offense coordinator, and yet Belichick thought it was going to work. I don't know why he thought that was going to work, but
sometimes I think he just try to be too smart for his own good. He's real cocky sometimes. That's what I really feel it from. But I'm glad we got Bill O'Brien back, you know what I mean, to help us out. I think we're going to have a better offense this year because we had a couple games. If you don't call some fucked up plays, we could at least made the playoffs. I really seen like 3 games we should have won. Easy the Viking game. Even that Raven game was close to Lamar got hired because Mac Jones think he's white Michael Vick. Like, I don't understand what he's thinking. But it was a couple games. Cincinnati game was pretty close. Even that Bill game was kind of close, the last one. But, this is – I'm saying this year, if Mac can't do nothing, it's time to let him go, man. You can't – we got your OC. If you only have 7 touchdowns to 14 interceptions, it's time for us to move on. It's time for us to move on.
You look at the Patriots season last year. They finished one. If they win just one of those games, they're in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the Raiders game, which we just talked about, thrown away by a stupid play. They could have easily won that game.
Mm-hmm.
You also had the game on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
When Hayden Hurst caught a touchdown that the league somehow said wasn't a catch. If they win that game, they're in the playoffs. This is why people said, "Oh, why are you getting so upset about that?" Because one win can make or break your season.
Yep.
And one play could make or break your season. And that one call of it was a touchdown when I saw it. It's a touchdown on the replay. I don't know what replay they saw that said it wasn't a touchdown.
Do you see Jalen Ramsey going back to his peak Jalen Ramsey again with the Dolphins?
I don't know about peak. Jalen Ramsey is he's not going to be the Jalen Ramsey from the Jaguars, but that's we're talking
like least. Do you see him getting least?
We're talking 5 or 6 years ago. You're not going to get everybody slows down eventually, but I think Jalen will be fine. He's an upgrade for that Miami secondary, and
so do you think it's time for him to switch positions to free, or you think he should stay at corner?
I don't think he can play safety.
I think he could too.
I don't think he's not physical enough.
You don't really gotta be really super physical to play free. It ain't too many super physical. Ain't no Brian Dawkins left, no Ed Reeds or Adam Waters no more, man. You don't gotta be that physical no more, Deeds. It ain't no Roddy Locks out here. But Sauce, I'm surprised CJ Gardner left the Eagles. That's what surprised me.
Well, the Eagles were they were gonna release Slade, but they didn't, and brought him back, gave him an extension.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't seem it viable as being able to sign him.
Jesse Bates going to
where was he gonna play?
That's a good question.
You know, where was he gonna play in that Philadelphia defense? Be the nickel corner? Like why would he want to do that? When he wants to go somewhere he's going to Detroit on a 1-year deal.
$8 million.
$8 million. It's probably a guaranteed contract for him to take that. You know, people are. I saw. You know, our resident Eagle fan, Cool McCain, talking about. Oh, we offered him that kind of money. I guarantee there's something in there that he took less money and more guaranteed money.
Well, and plus, I'm sure he wanted to start. Like he wasn't going to start,
and he wants to play.
Yeah, he wasn't going to start.
And like I said, does he want to play safety or does he want to play? He probably wants to play corner.
I'm telling you this though, I really feel in my hearts to hearts that Detroit team is going to be much better this year.
No, they are.
And I feel like they're a playoff team. People think I'm crazy, but I think they're a playoff team.
Listen, I thought ones when they lost Swift, that hurt their season because he was doing his thing at the running back position, even though this guy stepped up afterwards. But I thought when they lost Swift that first time, it was a real big blow to them.
But Jamal Williams.
Oh no, he played. He played. Listen, like I said, Williams had a great. He picked it up after Swift, but those first few games without Swift, it really did hurt them, man.
Yeah.
Look, we play the game on my show. We play the game on Fit Down Sports Show every August.
Right before the season,
right before the season, we play a game on my show called Contender, Pretender, or the Detroit Lions. Until they prove that they're not the Detroit Lions, I'm not buying. I'm not buying that they're a playoff team. Yeah, they were better They were better finally, but until they get over that hump, I'm not like I saw the predictions of they're going to win the division. You got to make the playoffs first before I'm giving you a shot at winning the division.
But it's a division that can be had.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not like because Minnesota won the division, whatever. But again, Minnesota were exposed to show
Big lights, Kirk Carson folds.
It's not even that, man. Like, how do you? Yeah, fine. You won 13 games or whatever it was, but your point differential was negative. Like, you're not going to win games like that. You're giving up way too many points. And it's not going to sustain. And the playoffs showed that it wasn't going to sustain. It didn't sustain. But
I'm telling you, they need to play what you call it. They need to play James Houston, man. What he did at the end of the season, them 6 games, I really don't understand why he didn't get no playing time in the beginning of the season. That pass rush, his moves, getting off the line.
I don't think he was healthy.
You think he was not healthy?
I don't think he was healthy, and then he got healthy. He started to get healthy in the middle of the season, and that's why they started giving him more. They started putting him on the field more. So,
because Aiden Hutchinson, on that line, coming off the line, it's not he don't got no moves.
He's the truth. He is the truth. Aiden Hutchinson is the truth.
He just don't got no moves, to get through the line, and he just straight power, and sometimes that doesn't work.
But he made it work. He made he made it work. He did his thing.
You knew what you were getting when you
drafted him.
You knew what they were getting when they drafted him.
You wasn't getting a speed rusher. You definitely wasn't getting a speed rusher.
You were getting a guy who was going to outwork. He's going to outwork everybody else.
Yeah,
everybody else he's going to outwork him. He's a great guy in the locker room. He's a great guy. Everybody's going to look at him and be like, I want to be like that guy. I want to work like him, and that's going to help the locker room. So that's why they got him. They weren't expecting him to, rush around the end and all of a sudden have spin moves that he could do, be Javon Curse over there and do that kind of stuff. No, he's not that kind of. He's never been that guy, and he never will be that guy. But he'll be a guy that outworks you, though. He'll be a guy that if you're blocking him, he's going to drive you straight back until the whistle blows, and then he's going to do it again the next play.
Yeah, he's that kind of player that his work ethic supersedes his talent, but it makes up for it. It makes up for it because there's people that's super talented, but they don't have that work ethic. And fail, and then you got people who just have that dog in them and have that work ethic, and they're monsters and they succeed.
So do y'all think that trade's going to go down with Aaron Rodgers to the Jets? Do you think it's ever going to happen, or do you think it's going to happen after? Do you think it's going to happen before the season starts?
It's going to have. It's going to have to. I mean, and Green Bay is going to be left holding the bag here. I mean,
it's all too much right now.
It's all up to the Packers. It's all up to the Packers. I mean, but everything Aaron Rodgers is saying right now is just destroying anything that they can get for him. I mean, I think they want something like 2 first-round picks, but
it's not going to happen.
If the guy's coming out saying, "No, they don't want me here. They don't want me here, and I don't want to go back." Why would you trade 2 first-round picks for a guy who doesn't want to go back there?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's either going to retire or they're going to cut him, and then you just sign him up later, or you go, hey, take our second and third round picks that we're giving you, and or get nothing for them. And that's what's going to happen to Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't see much happening. You know what I mean? I think, regardless, I think it's like a 1-year rental. I don't see him playing past 1 year for the Jets. So if that's what they want to, you know what I mean? That's what kind of move they want to do. That's what they said about Brett Favre, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the same kind of animal.
Went 2 years with the Jets and then 3 more with the Vikings. So
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that same kind of dog like Brett Favre is. Brett Favre enjoys playing the game. Aaron Rodgers don't give me that vibe like Brett Favre. It's just my opinion. I think Brett Favre will play for free. You know what I mean? That's what kind of vibe he gives. You know what I mean? Gives me. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers just after that Super Bowl, I haven't really seen hunger from him since that Super Bowl.
Aaron's got so much going on that he doesn't have to play football. That's the thing. Brett Favre had to play football. Brett Favre didn't have anything else going on. Aaron Rodgers, the minute Aaron Rodgers retires, he's going to be in some media capacity, whether it's hosting Jeopardy, whether it's doing something else. He's got so many other things that he's working on that it doesn't make a difference. Football doesn't make a difference.
And before we get out of here, Wise, do you see the Lamar Jackson situation get handled before the season?
I think he'll end up going back to Baltimore.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And this thing about he should have had an agent. Honestly, I do think if he had an agent, this would have been resolved. His mom worked his first contract, yeah, all right, but I think if he had an agent, all this would have been resolved. He would have been signed, but no one. All right, all these quarterbacks want this guaranteed money. They want the Deshaun Watson bag.
And Deshaun just restructured his
but that the NFL looks at, and well, owners look at it as like, we're not giving everybody this bag. That's just unheard of. It's just uncalled. And again, I wish the NFL would guarantee all contracts.
Because look at what just happened with the man just passing out, thought he was dead. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? These players do deserve their money, man. I don't care if you don't think somebody's elite pro or not.
The NFL is probably close to $1 trillion, but it's $1 billion business. Yeah. I think the NFL has the most $1 billion franchises out of all sports.
Mm-hmm.
Because football is the most popular sport in the U.S. So exactly. So you got probably like 6, 7 teams, 8 teams in the NFL worth billions of dollars. You got Dallas at number 1. You got the Giants. You got I think Denver's worth over $1 billion. A few others I can't remember.
I would imagine Pittsburgh's in there.
I'm sure Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm sure the Raiders are in there. There's certain teams.
The Rams have to be in there.
Yeah. So there's certain teams. There's certain teams that they're worth a lot of money, man, and these owners aren't trying to.
You start to see all these old players just lose their minds, and Vincent Jackson died in the hotel because his head was bothering him so much. You know what I mean? They need to get paid, man. At the end of the day, you know, they putting their body on line.
I agree. If you go get that bag,
Yeah. And I can't be mad at Lamar for trying to get all the bag without getting the agent, because the agent take what, 10%, 8%. It's like being an independent artist. You can't get mad for somebody not wanting to sign a label deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
well, I mean,
what to say, Deeks?
It's all for Lamar. If you know what you want, why sign a contract for less? If you have an agent, yeah, it probably would have been worked out, but the agent would have probably worked it out. You know, work out some nudge move with the team that got him less money or got him more bonus money instead of straight up contract money and all of that. But would it be worked out? Probably. But if you're Lamar Jackson, you know what you're worth. You know what you want to be. You know what you want to be paid. Pay me this or pay me this or I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else.
I mean, but you know, at the end of the day, I feel like they don't want to go back to Kyle Bowler days, so they're gonna have to figure something out. If you want to pay him a 1-year rental, you're gonna have to figure something out. You know what I mean? I guess you can go get a Caleb Williams next year, or
I think the Ravens. I think the Ravens know what they have, and you can't. Everybody can say what they want about Lamar Jackson, but every wide receiver that's gone there has said, "I don't want to play with him."
I really don't think it's the problem with him. I think it's the great. I think it was the great. I think it was the. Which was the Greg Roman. Greg Roman's offense. We know what Greg Roman offense is. We've seen it with Kaepernick. We've seen it. It's not really a pass happy offense.
Well, at some point, we'll find out this year because Greg Roman's not there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see
that excuse is gone. So.
I don't think John Harbaugh makes good in-game adjustments either, defensively, or tell the defensive coordinator to switch things up. I feel like he's really a passive head coach, if that makes sense.
But you had guys like Juju Smith-Schuster who went in, met with the Ravens, and then said, "Now I'm going back to Pittsburgh." Like. And they've had this going on for years now of trying to get a wide receiver, And every time they brought in a guy to meet with them, they left the meeting and did not want to sign with them.
Yeah,
Now,
you
people
also
can say that's Greg Roman.
Mhm.
I know for a fact that Hollywood Brown said this guy can't throw to wide receivers. That was said in the media that Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball to wide receivers. So I have to give credence to it when wide receivers are saying, "No, I don't want to play there." It's not just because of the offensive coordinator. It has to do with the guy throwing them the ball.
But we also can say they really didn't get their money's worth out of Joe Flacco with that $108 million. What did he do after that Super Bowl?
They paid him for the Super Bowl. They paid him for that Super Bowl run. That's what they did. They knew they weren't going to get any Joe Flacco. They knew they weren't going to get the Joe Flacco of that, but they paid him off because he won them a Super Bowl. So they gave him money.
But the same thing, they didn't get Trent Dilfer for no money. They didn't get Trent Dilfer for no money. And he was the fucking captain of the ship.
No, but he didn't. Everybody knew Trent Dilfer wasn't the reason they won the Super Bowl.
And the reason for them, Joe Flacco was not really the reason, man. That defense was
Joe Flacco was the Super Bowl MVP, and he had that throw against the Broncos. That was
you could have gave it to Ray or Ed Reed. They was playing lights out that year, man.
He had that miracle throw. He had the miracle throw, and he went on to be the Super Bowl MVP. So there's not much you can do after that.
Yeah.
Not much more you want to ask Joe Flacco to do. I mean, Trent Dilfer was handing the ball off. Trent Dilfer was handing the ball off.
Well, all right, man. We about to get out of here, man. Wise, you got anything coming up, man?
Tomorrow I got Stuck in My Mind coming on at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on the VS3 network, as well on my Stuck in My Mind page, my Real Wise TV YouTube channel as well. And yeah, that's it right now.
And then also, I gotta give you flowers, man. I'm loving mentality. You know what I mean? It's like RZA and Jizza coming together and making liquid swords. It's great.
It's a show that that's a show I really love doing. Me and Cole being able to chop it up and do what we do best. I couldn't ask to do it with anybody else, man. I'm blessed to be able to have a partner that sets the tone for what we do. And I'm as good as I am because of him. He's made me a better interviewer. He's made me a better producer. He's done so much to work with me and help me improve in my craft. And I'm grateful for him. And he does phenomenal work, man. He's one of the best producers I know. There's no one that does it like he does it. And I'm just blessed to be able to learn from someone like him.
And Deeks, what you have coming up this week, man? Are there going to be a fifth down this week, or?
We're gonna look at Saturday, and definitely not doing Thursday because Thursday we got the UConn game. So UConn's still in the tournament, and they're the first game on Thursday night. So I'll be entrenched in that.
Will you be at the bar? You be at the bar, or
can you believe there's 0 brackets?
No, 0.
That match. 0.
Yeah, when you have upsets like you had this weekend, I'm not shocked at that.
Nobody had a matching bracket. No one.
Nobody had Fairleigh Dickinson beating the number one overall seed.
Nope.
Nobody had that. Not even people at Fairleigh Dickinson had that. So, but yeah, so that's why we're not going Thursday night. So we'll possibly do a Saturday show, depending on, what happens Thursday night. If UConn wins and when their game is on Saturday, We might do something before that because sometimes they play those games at like 4:00. So we might do something in there.
Hurley's the coach over there, right?
Yep, Danny Hurley is
yeah.
at UConn, and Bobby Hurley is at Arizona State. So the Hurleys are knocking it out. And the assistant coach for UConn is Bill Murray's son.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool for UConn, but I love the way UConn is playing right now. They're doing typical UConn things where they look like garbage in the first half and then second half just blow people out. So if they can put a full game together, they'll be all set. But they got Arkansas coming up on Thursday, and then we'll see if they can get to the Final Four. See if we can do the double. See if we can do the double again. Get a women's and a men's championship. That'd be nice. But we'll be doing that. But I do have to say, Thursday morning, 8:30 on Snowman Show. If you did not watch 48 hours after the NCAA tournament on Saturday, I will be recapping this. This is by far the worst story I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to break it down. I don't even understand how you can kidnap 26 kids and still get paroled. It doesn't make any sense. So that's coming on Snowman at 8:30.
I'm just proud of you got off Disney, man. I'm just proud of you.
There's plenty more to get. There's plenty more I could pile on Disney, but I'm going to take They're burning their own park down right now.
I'm going to take my daughter to go see Little Mermaid, and I'm also going to take my son to see the new Mario movie. So Beats, gotta give these things a break. Okay?
Well, Mario's not a Disney movie. So.
I know. But I'm saying I'm still going to go support these cartoons and
I'm with you on Mario. Mario looks really good, and Mario is probably going to be the next big blockbuster that comes out. I'm predicting that's going to be $1 billion movie.
Yeah, I'm going to go see that, and also he likes Sonic the Hedgehog. We've been watching the old cartoons of Sonic the Hedgehog, so that's what he's been into. So. But you know what I mean? This has been another day of, another show of Midday Sports with Rod and Lunch Crew. I appreciate Wise coming on, a professional coming on, professional interviewer himself. I appreciate Deeks coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Talking college football. I can't wait for the season to start. And it's been another episode, and we're going to be out. See y'all later.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Later.